Okay, in this audio we're going to talk about several things that you'll need to know about. Of course, all this is going to be covered in the manual also that you've downloaded and hopefully read, and if you haven't read it, you need to read it. But we're going to talk about where you can find properties, what kind of properties we're looking for, real estate agents, why getting your own license might be a really good idea, what types of properties that we're looking for, what areas, and getting a good relationship with a mortgage broker. Let's start off by talking about where to find properties. There's several ways and areas that you can find properties. One of the best ways that you can do it is either get a relationship going with a real estate agent or get your own real estate license. If you decide not to get your real estate license, you can work with an agent. They just have to follow some criteria that you're going to set for them. A lot of agents that work with investors or don't know how to work with investors don't really want to go off your criteria. They don't want to put in offers that you're wanting to place because they think that they might be too low or whatnot. If you do find a real estate person that you're going to work with, or when you go out and look for one, you need to make sure that they know, hey, you're going to be putting in several offers, and even though they might be lowballed, it's a numbers game. You have to put out several offers to banks in order to get a property accepted. So, they might have a property listed at $50,000, and you need to buy it in the low 30s, so you're going to start offering in the 20s. Well, that real estate person just has to realize that that's what you're going to do, and all you're looking for is a counter offer from the bank. So you need to make sure you find a good real estate person to work with that's willing to work off your criteria and put in the offers that you're wanting to make. If you're like me, I went out and got my own real estate license. That way I don't have to worry about it. If I want to place an offer, I place it myself. Also, I can get on the MLS and look up all the bank-owned properties, the distressed properties, HUD-owned, government-owned properties, things like that. So it makes it much easier for me to do, because if you're sitting around waiting for your real estate agent to send you properties, you could be sitting around for a while. That's why I always suggest, if you can, get your license, or you have to find somebody, like I said, a good realtor that's willing to work with your criteria and get you new properties in front of your face as often as possible. I mean, I work with several investors now that I send them properties every couple of days for new things that come on the market. So but getting your license might be a good idea. That way you can search through your MLS listings, find all the new bank-owned as-is properties, distressed properties, things like that. It makes it much easier for you to sort through and also get your comparables and fair market values when you need to. That way, you don't have to sit around and wait on somebody to do that. But, it's up to you really. If you don't want to get your real estate license, just find somebody that you can work with, a good realtor that will send you properties at least once or twice a week that you can go out and look at that's going to meet your criteria. If the fair market value of a house is $90,000 and the bank's asking $70,000, that's not something that we're looking for. If the fair market value is $90,000, the most you want to pay for that property, going off the formula that we talk about, is with the rehab included, is 70% of that $90,000, so that's $63,000. So, if the rehab's $20,000, you only want to pay $43,000 for that property. So, if it's listed at $70,000, they're overpriced on that property. So, you want to make sure that the realtor is sending you the proper properties that are going to meet your criteria. Like I said, if you get your license, you can get on there. You can look at, customize your search and have your realtor customize their search for as-is properties, distressed properties, HUD-owned properties, bank-owned and corporate-owned. Makes it much easier for you to search exactly what you're looking for. When you're looking for properties, depending on if you want to rent them or sell them, either way, you really want to look for no less than 3-bedroom homes. And really 1.5 baths are really good. People are more interested in in more baths than they are garages. So if you just have a one bath house, it may be a little harder for you to move than 1.5 or two bath homes. So keep that in mind. Try to always get minimum 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath houses. You don't want to mess with 2-bedroom homes or 1-bedroom or 1-bath homes. So keep that in mind when you're looking for properties. Another great way to find properties is, you can just drive around neighborhoods, look for boarded up homes, overgrown yards, things like that. Might be vacant, and you can put mailers out to these homes. You can also look up the tax records to find out who owns it and mail them something. Call them up, ask them if they're looking to sell their property. You can stick signs out saying that you buy homes for cash. This will get your phone ringing off the hook, let me tell you, because people will call you that are in dire situations. Maybe they're going through a divorce or bankruptcy, or they're behind on their payments, they're getting foreclosed on. There could be several aspects that for the reason why they need to sell their house and fast. And if you put up signs like that, you will get a lot of calls from people to where you can buy their home for cash, maybe even on a short sale. There's different ways that you can buy the properties that way, but that's another great way to find properties, is to put the signs out, which we go over in the book also. You want to make sure that you stay in decent areas when you're looking for homes. You don't want to, I call them war zones. You don't want to go down in the war zones and buy a house, because if you do, you start rehabbing, there's a large chance that your rehab work is going to go for naught. You'll get things stolen. People will break in. The rehab that you do, you'll just have to redo over and over again. Also, those areas are not easy to rent in, or you can't really rent in those areas. And if you're looking to sell, chances are you're not going to be able to sell the house either. So you want to make sure you stay in nice neighborhoods, that all the yards around you are well kept and the homes are well kept. That will make it easier for you to sell your house or rent it or do a lease option, whatever you're looking to do. So that's a big factor also when looking in certain areas on homes that you want to purchase. One other thing that you want to do right away, whenever you start your process, is you want to get a good mortgage broker that you can work with. I wouldn't suggest you go to the banks, because the banks they have a lot more restrictions on them than do the mortgage brokers. But you want to find a good mortgage broker to work with. That way, whenever you fix up your house or you take control of the property and you need to sell it, you can send all your prospective buyers or lease option people to your mortgage broker. They can go through the process of getting these people qualified, seeing what they're qualified for, letting you know what kind of program they might be qualified for. Like we talk about in the book, there's seller carrybacks and different things like that you can work with. They might only qualify for 90% loan to value, and you might have to do a 10% seller carryback. You might have to help them get down payment assistance. There's just a lot of different things that you might have to go through, and when you're doing all the other things that you're going to be doing as far as finding properties, looking at properties, figuring out the rehabs and things like that, the last thing you really want to do is have to mess with qualifying buyers and taking them through that process. To start out with, obviously you'll do it, when you're getting your feet wet. But as you get going, you do want to find a good mortgage broker that will help you out with that. That way, that just takes one of the steps away from you, and they can take those people through the process, and then the mortgage broker can also let you know if that person's a good buyer, or if that person would be a better lease option person. Maybe they're not qualified to purchase right now, but 6 months down the road they could purchase. They just need to do a few things to clean up their credit. So, getting a good mortgage broker to work with is also a big deal. So, make sure that those are some big aspects that you need to take care of right away. find yourself a good realtor to work with. Maybe along the way, get your license, your real estate license. That way, you don't have to mess with going through the realtor anymore. Make sure you find yourself a good mortgage broker to work with to qualify your buyers, and make sure you always look for 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath properties at minimum, because those properties are going to move a lot quicker and a lot easier than the 2-bedroom or the 1-bath homes. So let's move on to the next audio.